Shalom. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, who is Akkad. Yahweh alone, who is one and only. Big ups to the Torah Knights and all the learned brothers in Torah Knights. This is going to be a quick lesson on King James. For those of you who always say that King James is the go-to for the scriptures, is the primary source to learn the scriptures, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut that today. Hopefully you don't get, bothered by it. And hopefully this video will help you learn and grow and expand your horizon on what the scriptures are and what they really mean. Okay? So there are people out there who go, I need me a real Bible. I need me a King James version of the Bible. If it ain't a King James Bible, it ain't a Bible. That's absolutely preposterous. Okay. Now we have the King James the first of England and the sixth of Scotland. Okay, let's look at that real quick. One moment. Bear with me. King James the first of England and the sixth of Scotland became king in 1603. 1625 was the end of his reign. Okay, correlates with the poster. And in 1611, he authorized the King James Version of the Bible. And it was published in 1611. So the question is, okay, well, we had the King James Version for quite some time now. All right, we had the King James Version during the fake moon landings. We had the King James Version during the orchestrated World War II. We had the King James Version during the orchestrated World War I and every other war in between. Okay, but what happened before the King James Version of the Bible? What were we reading before then? Okay, well, to answer that quick question, we had the Geneva Bible, which was published in 1560, and we had various other Bibles and other versions of the scriptures throughout history. Okay, did we have the scriptures during these periods? Absolutely. The scriptures were around for quite some time. Okay, can't say that for the New Testament, but that's a different subject. All right, so let's get it in. So we have King James, and just an overview. James was crowned king of the Scots when he was only 13 months old in 1567. His father was mysteriously murdered. Okay, I believe his uncle had murdered James's father, Lord of Darnley, in 1567. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, now this is when the waters get a little bit murky. All right. Although James grew up in an atmosphere of civil strife, he had a sound Presbyterian and classical education. When he became an adolescent, homosexual feelings were first aroused in him by a sophisticated French nobleman, d'Aubigny Lennox. Okay? You can read that for yourself. I didn't make this up. I'm sure this book didn't make this up. All right. Although what's interesting is the Oxford Book of Royal Anecdotes doesn't mention that in here, which I find kind of odd, but whatever. All right. So we have a little bit more with King James. Okay, King James also coined the phrase "no bishop, no king." He ordered the preparation of the new translation of the Bible, which became known as the Authorized Version of, or King James Bible. Okay? All right, and then this is when, more information about how things get murky. All right, let's see here. James had married Princess Anne of Denmark in 1589 while he was king of the Scots. He had romantically braved the perils of the Baltic in order to meet his wife at Oslo on her way to Scotland. They had 6 children, 2 sons, Henry and Charles, and 4 daughters, 2 of whom died very young. But basically, James was homosexual and grew bored with the frivolity and stupidity of his queen. Okay? Saying it again. Alright, let me see. James was forced into war with Spain. Slovakia, one moment, let me find out. Let me find more stuff. Okay, this is interesting here too. Okay, James was forced into a war with Spain and into hiring a mercenary army to fight against the emperor. Even before this, James had grave financial difficulties, for he was grossly extravagant, spending, for example, a small fortune on his daughter's wedding, besides being lavish to his male favorites. When his second parliament had met in 1614, he had vainly tried to persuade the Commons to vote him money. But the members expressed many grievances, especially over James's Scottish favorites, male favorites. Okay? And it goes on to say that, but he allowed his ablest servant to be dismissed and punished, his able Lord Chancellor Francis Bacon, which did the final editing on the King James Version of the Bible, by the way. Okay? So James's reign ended in confusion and disaster both at home and abroad. He was a learned theologian, and after an original belief in witchcraft, was persuaded finally of its falsity. Now, we don't really know if that's true or not, but, the history books are going to, let him die with grace. Okay, but as you can see, this guy who authorized this book was a practitioner in witchcraft, and he believed in witchcraft. Okay, so, and then we also can get into the Masonic origins, and that's just another topic. Okay, but he was vain, lazy, and too fond of his own voice. He allowed himself to be increasingly imposed upon by many. Oh, sorry, I misread that. I'm reading it through my screen. Imposed upon by my men favorites, while he bequeathed himself on his great contempt for women. Okay, so that's that. There you have it. I'm gonna make this a short video. There you have it. As far as King James, is it the authority on the scriptures? Hell no. We have so many other versions of the scriptures. We even have the original untouched version of the scriptures, which was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, written in Hebrew. So, yeah, to anybody out there, camps, I mean, it's all here. This is not the authority. You can find better versions of the scriptures. Actually, I would recommend staying out of the KJV. I mean, you can go back and forth and use this as a reference, to make sure everything correlates. But yeah, staying out of this will probably benefit you 100 times more based on, information we have here, which is kind of embarrassing. All right, well, with that, shalom. Have a good day, and we're going to have more videos to come. All praises to Yahweh, who is Akkad. Shalom.